I will try to fix you.
Roller Champions was a game that debuted at E3 2019, only released in 2022, and has been pretty much of a shell of its potential self. Having been delayed due to the dreading pandemic, the initial hype for the game was quickly hushed, and by the time of delivery, it just seemed like neither the devs nor the community had their hearts in it anymore. It's hard for me to say that, but that is just how it feels. I don't want to put a dev down, but when the community is thinking the exact same thing, that is just another nail in the coffin. Which is a shame, because it was genuinely shaping up to be one of the most creative games I had seen in the last few years, and something I thought would be dominating the free-to-play market. So, where did it all go wrong? Let's start at the beginning. Making an appearance at arguably the biggest gaming event and conference of the year, it seemed that Ubisoft had clear faith and support for its fresh concept and an approach to a sport which has not been covered a lot. Weirdly, this company has quite a knack for bringing other sports with not a lot of traction in gaming to a loving audience. Look at Steep and the initial release of Riders Republic for reference. It was also another venture for the game company Titan into the world of free-to-play games, having tasted some success in it already with some of its Trackmania games and Brawlhalla, but wanted to get a larger piece of the pie that Fortnite and others had been seeing at this time. Herein lied the first problem. The timing just wasn't on their side. With COVID-19 spreading through the world, perhaps Ubisoft decided to put Roller Champions on the back burner and rather jump on the free-to-play Battle Royale train, because their next release would be Hyper Scape, announced and ready to play on 2 July 2020. It's hard to see if that was their release schedule all along or not, but it seemed like their own PvP Survival was doing well, hitting top spot on the streaming platforms. However, it could not keep the momentum and had fallen out of favor by August. It's not to say that was the fault of the game, since we had a plethora of other games surging in popularity around this time, like Fall Guys, Among Us, and the resurrection of Minecraft. But what did shock me was Ubisoft deciding to pull the plug on Hyper Scape in middle 2022, only 2 years into its life cycle. Ubisoft had already cited the game not meeting expectations in October 2020, but for a live service game to go out of service in a lifespan shorter than some Call of Duty games or other big games is... well, it says something about my growing concerns about Ubisoft putting too many eggs in one basket when it comes to the scope of game ideas and manpower, and maybe just not exercising the same patience they need for other games. There were even more ominous signs of this when Riders Republic rolled around in late 2021. While the game wasn't exactly free to play, it was slated to be a live service model, and a step up from Steep to connect more of us to enjoy the extreme sports and a glorious open world together. And it was a great game. It genuinely was on release a freaking fantastic game. I'm not going to take that away from it, and it introduced these fresh, cool new sports in this awesome world we could explore, but... well, if you haven't seen my video about this, you know how that went. But all that means is that I should have known how Roller Champions would have turned out. I should have known when I found it in the PS Store and downloaded a game that I'd casually forgotten about 3 years ago. I should have known when I started to enjoy its neat little presentation, energy, and matches. I should have known when I invited my friends both on my platform and others to come try out this cool new game we would jam together. I should have known it was not gonna last. Very rarely does a live service game release in a near perfect state. Only the Giga Chad Diablo 4 comes to recent memory, and even that has some scrutiny already. And with a live service model, the state of these types of games allows you to rather help deliver a better and improved experience and updates over continuous support, which helps the longevity of a game and the community which plays it. But it does not excuse games to also release in states, as I've said, that we have seen in more recent years, but delivering a solid first-time experience with a promise to continue improving is the gold standard. Roller Champions had a quiet release, with the offer of decent 3v3 matches where you could size up against other players or AI if matchmaking was not as successful. There was also a social skatepark hub where you could practice your skills and shots and even have an impromptu match if others in the lobby were keen. Customization was also fun and almost retro in a way, kind of like you'd enter an era where rollerblades was still a big thing in the heyday. So, you know, a decent beginning for a live service game, and I thought, you know, it was quite neat, just quite neat to get some people on. So not dissimilar from something I saw from Fall Guys or Fortnite that originally also offered this. There were issues with matchmaking, the MMR and the other concern that only offered something like 3v3 matchup that would become repetitive, but nothing that support from the devs could fix, you know? I was more than willing to look past its flaws and enjoy the game if Ubisoft were willing to commit to it. If only. Less than half a year after identical problems of support had plagued Riders Republic in its first season, which drove me away from a game I had adored, I was witnessing it once again. It's almost like they're doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Now, as I said, in an ideal world, I would have loved if Roller Champions actually did release close to in 2019, 2020, if it was possible. The buzz around the free-to-play games like Fortnite, Fall Guys, and all that was no coincidence. It was genuinely catching fire everywhere. And Roller Champions, I think, brought a completely different flavor to the game, where it's like it's completely something new, and people could hop on it and enjoy the new, like, innovative crossplay that was coming through. And sure, maybe something like Among Us or the resurrection of Minecraft, something would have detracted its popularity away, but it's still, I think, a risk that was maybe you needed to be willing to take. But yeah, other than that, I think obviously it's easy to just point the finger again at the devs and at the state of the game and say they should have just fixed the matchmaking long ago, they should have looked at the servers long ago because there's still complaints of lag on the game, they should have fixed their MMR long ago so that you don't get paired up into these impossible matches or where the difficulty is just a leap and some bounds away. There's a lot of things that you could address, but those are the easy things to point out. What I want to look at is how would a game have lasted with longevity. Keep in mind, this was meant to be a live service game, and while there were some other modes introduced since the time I've been playing it, the only modes I was aware of was a 3v3 mode, a 2v2 mode that came through later, obviously competitive and casual playlists, and perhaps now and then a secret mode. Nothing really much to go off of. But when I look at the game, I saw much more potential than that. I saw a way for people to express creativity and perhaps also jump on the trends that Fortnite and Fall Guys eventually also later on found themselves adopting to have some sort of creative mode would have been great. Just imagine you were able to basically customize your own skate park in those social hubs you guys were exploring in. Just for fun, you know, you don't have to necessarily have like these intense things that you kind of need to have the matches for, but just customize your own skate park or social place that people can hang out and check out, you know, and rate maybe, and maybe the parts and stuff you can get, similar to, you know, how in Tony Hawk you could customize a skate park. So maybe the parts you can get is to unlock it through certain achievements and get maybe through weekly challenges, daily challenges to get people to keep playing the game, to log in, to keep playing the game, to improve their skate park, have things to unlock, you know, what they can build their skate park with. Maybe they can have some sort of, milestones they reach when they play enough matches online. You know, something to give them that, to drive them basically to unlock more. Maybe even also an offline mode. I know a lot of the model was geared around trying to get crossplay off the ground, trying to get online off the ground. But like just something maybe also with an offline mode, something like similar to Rocket League. I know no one in Rocket League really plays the offline mode, but isn't it a neat idea to think about that you can focus on your training and stuff like that and kind of hone your skills if you had like an offline league mode or a career mode? Like, wouldn't it be cool to have your own skater or your own team where you have a sort of career mode like the journey in FIFA? Or if you don't want to be as cinematic as that, maybe just a normal mode where you control a single skater or a team and try to build them through the ranks and make them win the league. Maybe through that you could also unlock stuff for your skate park or just other customization options for your character. Wouldn't that be cool? And then when it comes to modes, why not expand that to the online modes? Why not have people have the ability to create their own stadiums? Like, they had really nice locations on the game. Like, I think they had Manhattan, the Bronx, Venice Beach. Really neat, cool-looking locations that like felt like it was part of the city, especially New York and stuff. But imagine people being able to create their own things. Like, they have their own stadiums, their own setups, and like have the crowds in the background and how the track looks, and even maybe not even have a looped track. Maybe have like a sort of I don't know, curved bank track or something like that. Something really like different or radical, and have people play on it in private matches. You know, something like that to sort of interact with the community more. Riders Republic actually did this really well, and if they capitalized on it, they would have also had a much better thing. But I'm going off on a tangent, but you get the idea here. If you're going to have a game where you're trying to make more of the community a part of it, to have cross-play and free-to-play and stuff, bank on the idea that you want to get more people online frequently with daily and weekly challenges that rewards them that they can use for something else. Maybe it's customization options, maybe it's something like the skate park, maybe something. But keep them interacted, keep them on the game, and keep them playing is the biggest thing. When you lose that audience, that's when your live service model is going to die. And unfortunately, that has been the case for so many Ubisoft games. I'm starting to get really worried that, you know, it's not the company I fell in love with all those years ago. But again, those are my, opinions and stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this short little one. I know not a lot of us are really around or just played Roto Champions and stuff like that. But for those of us who are, my heart kind of still bleeds for the game, as it does for other games that I thought were going to be great and didn't turn out that great. So, yeah. But anyways, guys, thank you again for checking out this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll be sure to catch you guys next time. You guys stay safe, and we'll chat soon.